Namaste. Now I am presenting a topic on environmental agenda, issues and challenges from the Stockholm to Johannesburg. I am Nagesh Shetty, Assistant Professor and Head, PG Department of Political Science, Government First Grade College, Honavar. First, I will discuss about the meaning of the term global environmental issues. Global environmental issues are an important part of international relations. In fact, international community in recent years has stressed the importance of fighting climate change in order to protect the environment through documents such as a Kyoto Protocol and more recently during the COP21 United Nations Climate Change Summit. However, international activists were speaking out about the harm that humans were doing to the environmental as early as 1970s and 1980s. In the 1980s, the thinning of the ozone layer began to be a major concern. Today, such issues along with global warming and climate change are at the center of environmental politics. In fact, individual activists, NGOs as well as state have come together through international organizations such as United Nations to derive strategies related to environmental issues such as global warming and reducing harmful chemicals in atmosphere. Now I will discuss world's biggest environmental issues. Our environment is constantly changing. There is no denying that. However, as our environment changes, so does the need to become increasingly aware of problems that surround it. With a massive influx of natural disasters, warming and cooling periods, different types of weather patterns and much more, people need to be aware of what type of environmental problems our planet is facing. First, I will discuss about the air pollution and climate change. Overloading of the atmosphere and of ocean waters with carbon. Atmospheric carbon to absorbs and re-emits infrared wavelength radiation, leading to the warmer air, soil and ocean surface waters, which is good. The planet would be frozen solid without this. Unfortunately, there is now too much carbon in air. Burning of fossil fuels, deforestation for agriculture and industrial activities have pushed up atmospheric carbon to concentrations from 280 parts per million 200 years ago to about 400 parts per million today. That is an unprecedented rise in both size and speed, the result climate disruption. Then second one, deforestation. Species rich wild forests are being destroyed, especially in tropics, often to make way for cattle ranching, soybean or palm oil plantation or other agriculture monocultures. Today about 30% of the planet land area is covered by forests, which is about half as much as before agriculture got started around 11,000 years ago. About 7.3 million hectares of forest are destroyed each year, mostly in tropical forest used to cover about 15% of the planet's land area. They are now down to 6 or 7%. Much of this remainder has been degraded by logging or burning. Next, species extinction. That is the another problem what we are facing. On land, wild animals are being hunted to extinction for bushmeat, ivory or medicinal products. At sea, huge industrial fishing boats equipped with the bottom traveling nets clean out entire fish populations. The loss and destruction of habitats are also major factors contributing to a wave of extinction. Unprecedented in that it is caused by the single species, they are humans. The IUCN's red list of threatened and endangered species continue to grow. Next, soil degradation, overgrazing, monoculture planting, erosion, soil compaction, overexposure to pollutants, land use conversion. There is a long list of ways that soils are being damaged. About 12 million hectares of farmland a year get seriously degraded according to the UN estimates. Next, overpopulation. Human population continues to grow rapidly worldwide. Humanity entered the 20th century with 1.6 billion people. Right now, we are about 7.5 billion. Estimates put us at nearly 10 billion by 2050. Growing global populations combined with growing affluences is putting ever greater pressure on essential natural resources like water. Most of the growth is happening on the African continent and in southern and eastern Asia. Next, other issues. Natural resources depletion. Natural resources depletion is another crucial current environmental problems. Fossil fuel consumptions result in emission of greenhouse gases, which is responsible for global warming and climate change. Globally, people are taking efforts to shift to renewable resources of energy like solar, wind, biogas and geothermal energy. The cost of installing the infrastructure and maintaining these sources has plummeted in the recent year. Next, waste disposal. The overconsumption of resources and creation of plastics are creating a global crisis of waste disposal. Developed countries are notorious for producing an excessive amount of waste or garbage and dumping their waste in the oceans and less developed countries. Nuclear waste disposal has tremendous health hazards associated with it. Plastic, fast food, packaging and cheap electronic waste threaten the well-being of humans. Waste disposal is one of the urgent current environmental problems. Next, loss of biodiversity. Human activities is leading to the extinction of species and habitat and loss of biodiversity. Ecosystems which took millions of years to perfect are in danger when any species population is decimating. Balance of natural processes like pollination is crucial to the survival of ecosystem and human activity threatens this same. Next, ozone layer depletion. The ozone layer is an invisible layer of protection around the planet that protect us from the sun's harmful rays. Depletion of the crucial ozone layer of the atmosphere is attributed to pollution caused by chlorine and bromide found in chlorofluorocarbons. Once these toxic gases reach the upper atmosphere, they cause the hole in ozone layer, the biggest of which is above the Antarctic. The chlorofluorocarbons are banned in many industries and consumer products. Ozone layer is valuable because it prevents harmful UV radiations from reaching the earth. This is one of the most important current environmental problem. Next, acid rain. Acid rain occurs due to the presence of certain pollutants in the atmosphere. Acid rain can be caused due to the combustion of fossil fuels or erupting volcanoes or rotting vegetation which release sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides into the atmosphere. Acid rain is known environmental problem that can have serious effects on human health, wildlife and aquatic species. Next, water pollution. Clean drinking water is becoming a rare commodity. Water is becoming an economic and political issue as human population fights for this resource. One of the options suggested is using the process of desalination. Industrial development is filling our rivers, seas and oceans with toxic pollutants which are these major threats to human health. Then urban sprawl. Urban sprawl refers to the migration of population from high density urban areas to low density rural area which result in spreading of city over more and more rural land. Urban sprawl result in land degradation, increased traffic, environmental issues and health issues. The ever growing demand of land displaces natural environment consisting of flora and fauna instead of being replaced. Next, public health issues. The current environmental problems pose a lot of risk to health of humans and animals. Dirty water is the biggest health risk of world and pose threat to the quality of life and public health. Runoff to rivers carrying along toxins, chemicals and disease carrying organisms. Pollutants cause respiratory diseases like asthma and cardiovascular problems. High temperatures encourage the spread of infectious diseases like dengue. Next, genetic engineering. Genetic modification of food using biotechnology is called genetic engineering. Genetic modification of food result in increased toxins and diseases as genes from an allergic plant can transfer to target plant. Genetically modified crops can cause serious environmental problems as an engineered genes may prove toxic to wildlife. Another drawback is that increased use of toxins to make insect resistant plant can cause resultant organism to become resistant to antibiotics. Next, what are the major or mega conferences conducted by the United Nations, which is called as environmental mega conferences? There have been 5 environmental conferences. We can find out of 5, 3 are mega conferences, another 2 conferences, 2 or 3 conferences are supporting to that conference. So United Nations Conference on Human Environment, which was conducted in 1972, commonly known as Stockholm Conference. Second one, UN Conference on Environment and Development, which was conducted in 1992, also known as Rio Conference or Earth Summit. Third one, UN General Assembly Special Session, which was Sustainable Development in New York 1997, which is also called as Earth Summit. Fourth, World Summit on Sustainable Development, which was occurred in 2002 in Johannesburg. Then last one, Rio Plus 20 UN World Conference in 2012 in Rio. Next, before taking the various conferences, just I will discuss about the meaning of agenda and meaning of environmental agenda, which is prescribed in all conferences, or they have been made a document of that. So an agenda is a list of meeting activities in order in which they are to be taken up, by beginning with the call to order and ending with the adjournment. It usually includes one or more specific items of business to be discussed. It may but is not required to include specific times for one or more activities. An agenda may also be called a docket or schedule. Now I will take environmental agenda. The global society has been concerned about the developments and how it relates to the state of the environment since the Stockholm United Nations Conference and Human Environment in June 1972. So at the Stockholm Conference, environmental concerns were for the first time established on the world agenda. It had been present in several national policies before that, but at the Stockholm meeting, it was clear that environment was an international concern for the simple reason that pollution and resource depletion does not respect national borders. Pollutants travel with water or air long distance. Not the least, the Baltic Sea region's countries had experienced that from the acid rain, mostly coming from continental Europe and the British Iceland. Next, Stockholm Conference. So, the Stockholm Conference was organized in Stockholm, Sweden. It was organized in June 5 to 16, 1972. If you take the history of that conference, actually in the year of 1968, United Nations Economic and Social Council passed a resolution to conduct a conference to solve the problems of environment at the worldwide. So, based on that, United Nations General Assembly passed the resolution in 1969 to convene the conference in 1972. So, this Stockholm conference, near about 114 countries delegations were attended, but Soviet Union was boycotted to this conference due to the lack of inclusion of East Germany, which was not full member of UNO. And also there was a division between the members who has attended in that conference, especially between the developed and developing countries. For remembrance of that event, June 5 has been selected to celebrate as World Environment Day. So, next, Stockholm Declaration. What are the declaration has been made? The meeting agreed upon declaration containing 26 principles concerning the environment and development, an action plan with 109 recommendations and a resolution. The principles of the Stockholm Declarations are: first one, human rights must be asserted, apartheid and colonialism condemned. Natural resources must be safeguarded. The earth's capacity to produce renewable resources must be maintained. Wildlife must be safeguarded. Non-renewable resources must be shared and not exhausted. Next, pollution must not exceed environment's capacity to clean itself. Next, damaging oceanic pollution must be prevented. Development is needed to improve the environment. Developing countries therefore need assistance. Developing countries need reasonable price for export to carry out environmental management. Environment policy must not hamper development. Developing countries need money to develop environmental safeguards. Integrated development planning is needed. Rational planning should resolve conflict between environment and development. Human settlement must be planned to eliminate environmental problems. Government should plan their own appropriate population policies. National institutions must plan development of states' natural resources. Science and technology must be used to improve the environment. Environmental education is essential. Environmental research must be promoted, particularly in developing countries. States may exploit their resources as they wish, but must not endanger others. Compensation is due to states thus endangered. Each nation must establish its own standards. There must be cooperation on international issues. International organizations should help to improve the environment. Weapons of mass destruction must be eliminated. These are the some major decision was taken at the Stockholm conference. Next conference is Rio de Janeiro conference, which was conducted in the year of 1992. The 1990s were again a period of many possibilities. After the 1989 to 91 dramatic events had led to the end of Cold War and the dissolution of Soviet Union. In 1992, United Nations called the nations of the world to a new summit, the UN Conference on Environment and Development. It took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in June 1992 and became the largest conference ever organized by the United Nations. 179 governments were represented and 120 heads of the state took part in that conference. 5 documents were issued from the conference and most important one being the Agenda 21. It's a 40-member chapter document for the 21st century on how to achieve sustainable development. Every bit of it carefully negotiated and agreed on. Now sustainable development become mainstream policy in most countries in the world. Then what are the issues are addressed? Systematic scrutiny of patterns of production, particularly the production of toxic components such as lead in gasoline or poisonous waste including radioactive chemicals. Second one, alternative sources of energy to be replaced the use of fossil fuels which are linked to the global climate change. Third one, new reliance on public transportation systems in order to reduce vehicle emissions, congestions in cities and the health problems caused by the polluted air and smoke. Last one, the growing scarcity of water. Next, what is the Earth Summit 1992 agenda? What is the meaning of agenda? That's I will discuss here. Agenda 21. What is agenda? In 1992, the international community adopted Agenda 21 as non-binding framework incorporating environmental, economic and social concern into the single scheme. It contains over 2,500 wide-ranging and concrete recommendations for action on issues such as reducing wasteful use of natural resources, fighting poverty, protecting the atmosphere, oceans and animal and plant life, promoting sustainable agricultural practices that will feed the world growing population. The 21 in Agenda 21 refers to the original target year of 2021, but it has been changed. Its new timeline is targeting 2030. Agenda 21 is a 351-page document divided into the 40 chapters that have been grouped into the 4 sections. Section 1 contains social and economic dimension. It is directed towards combating poverty, especially in developing countries, changing consumption patterns, promoting health, achieving the more sustainable population and sustainable settlement in decision making. Second section contains conservation and management of resources for development. It includes atmospheric protection, combating deforestation, protecting fragile environments, conservation of biological diversity, control of pollution and the management of biotechnology and radioactive wastes. Section 3, strengthening the role of major groups, includes the role of children and youth, women, NGOs, local authorities, business and industry and workers, and strengthening the role of indigenous peoples, their communities and farmers. Section 4, means of implementation, includes science and technology, transfer, education, international institutions and financial mechanism. Next, what are the decisions taken? After the Rio conference, a commission for sustainable development was established at the United Nations to lead the international work. The number of important developments followed, among them the Climate Convention, the establishment of Global Environmental Facility to finance sustainability projects and support of green business. Next, the result of that conference. An important achievement was an agreement on Climate Change Convention, which in turn led to the Kyoto Protocol. Another agreement was to not carry out any activities on the lands of indigenous peoples that would cause environmental degradation or that would be culturally inappropriate. The third one, the Convention on Biological Diversity was open for signature at the Earth Summit and made a start towards redefinition of measures that did not inherently encourage destruction of natural ecoregions and so-called uneconomic growth. The next one, 12 cities were also honored by the local government honors awards for innovative local environmental programs. These include Sudbury in Canada for its ambitious program to rehabilitate environmental damage from the local mining industry, Austin in United States for its green building strategy, Kitakyushu in Japan for incorporating an international education and training component into its municipal pollution control program. Next, Earth Summit or Earth Summit 2. Earth Summit 2 is the name the NGO have used for special session the General Assembly of the United Nations convened in 1997 to review the progress made since the Earth Summit in Rio in 1992. The name Earth Summit 2 was used to underline the great importance of the event in the hope that it might be as significant as first Earth Summit. What are the main objective of this summit? First one, to revitalize and energize commitments to sustainable development. Second one, to frankly recognize failure and identify reason why. To recognize achievements and identify action that will boost them. To define priorities for the post 97 period. To raise the profile of issues addressed insufficiently by Rio. Next, World Conference in Johannesburg. There is another one conference which has been conducted by the United Nations. So this World Conference in Johannesburg, which was conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's from 2 to 4 September 2002. It was the first UN conference where the phrase sustainable development was in the name of the meeting. 82 heads of the state and government, 30 vice presidents and deputy prime ministers, 74 ministers, royalty and other senior officials and thousands more official representatives came together with observers from civil society, academia, the scientific community, local communities and the private sector. And also one of the most important document was its plan of implementation. Then next, Johannesburg Declaration 2002. The Johannesburg Declaration was principal outcome of the summit. The declaration is collection of general political statements reaffirming a commitment to agreements made at the Rio de Janeiro summit and at the Stockholm summit on the human environment 30 years prior. International cooperation, decreasing world poverty, special attention for developing nations, empowering women and maintaining biodiversity among other things are outlined as key points to building sustainable future. The document is meant to serve as contract for the participants of the summit, binding them to the outline agreement. Johannesburg Declarations. The plan of implementation laid down more specific goal the nations and organizations that participated in the summit. Some of these goals include the establishment of Solidarity Fund to wipe out poverty. This fund would be sustained by voluntary contributions. However, developed nations are urged to dedicate 0.7% of their national income to this cause. Second, cutting in half by 2015 the proportion of world population living on less than $1 a day. This is a reaffirmation of a UN Millennium Summit goal. Then third one, cutting in half by 2015 the number of people who lack clean drinking water and basic sanitation. Next, substantially increase the global share of renewable energy. Next, cut significantly by 2010 the rate at which our rare plant and animals are becoming extinct. Then restore where it is possible depleted fish stocks by 2015 and halving the number of people suffering from hunger. Next, Rio Plus 20 UN World Conference, which was conducted in the year of 2012. Rio Plus 20, the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, scheduled for June 20 to 21, 2012 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. They intended to set a global sustainability agenda for the coming decade. The delegates from the 183 countries, some of them represented by their president, vice president or their premiers, along with more than 50,000 participants from governments, private sector, non-governmental organization or other groups, they were attended in that session. This time the focus of the conference was green economy, reflecting that economy is top priority in most countries today and environmental concern need to be included in economic development. The final document from Rio Plus 20 is called The Future We Want. The main component is the agreement to develop a set of sustainable development goals. These are intended to follow the Millennium Development Goals and be a main focus in the UN work from 2015 when the MDG process ends. The agenda of the conference: with such diverse interests in mind, the UN chose to focus attention on few broad objectives at the summit. First one, alleviating poverty, improving the ability of all countries, particularly in South, to meet globalization's challenges, promoting responsible production and consumption, ensuring that all people have access to energy sources, reducing environmentally related health problems, improving access to clean water. Then if you take the background, I have already said that these are bigger conference, that Stockholm, Rio conference and Johannesburg, which was occurred 1972, 1982 and 2002, and for supporting them there was 1987 Brundtland report and 1997 New York Rio plus 5 conference and 2012 Rio plus 20 conference at Rio. These are the, I think, supporting conference which was conducted by the United Nations to follow the major agenda which has been made by these three conferences. In this chapter I try to, I think, explain about the environmental agenda, what are the, I think, international issues and how the United Nations taken as challenges, and how international how the United Nations made a huge contributions to protect the environment, and how they have been conducted the conferences, through the conferences how they have made the agenda and how they have been implemented that agenda. All these things I have discussed in detail. Thank you.